For the second time this month, Donald Trump has canceled an opportunity to meet with Latino leaders in Miami. Trump's people say that there just wasn't enough time to coordinate the sit-down, which is a traditional gathering for candidates seeking support from Miami's large Hispanic population. And for more on this, I'm joined by Trump delegate Ashley Bell, also founder, CEO, and chairman of 2020 Leaders of America. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Heather. Good to be with you.
Were you listening to some of what our panel just had to say? I'd like to get your thoughts on that.
On Trump in Miami?
Yes.
Let me tell you, well, I can tell you this. The RNC has done a phenomenal job of reaching out and having boots on the ground to expand the party in all the battleground states. And I think this is an opportunity for Trump to rely more on the RNC and some of the work that the chairman has already done. But you're right, this is a traditional base for Republicans, and actually the Republican brand is stronger with Cuban Americans than it is with any other population of Latino voters. So there's still a great opportunity there, and the brand's still strong.
And what about some other demographics that he seems to need to work on, specifically African Americans?
I was excited about Omarosa coming on board. I'll tell you this, Omarosa was a Democrat, but when you have 95% of the black voters voting Democrat, it makes sense to have someone who used to be a Democrat to be able to talk the language and to know the community. She's also a Baptist minister. I heard her speak for the first time in Cleveland. She does a phenomenal job when it comes to relating to pastors and relating to the community. So I'm excited that Omarosa is in this position, and I think there could be a better fit.
And why do you like Donald Trump?
Let me tell you, this is a clear choice for me. I was in the primary. I started off with Marco Rubio and Rand Paul. But now we're down to two people with a very clear, distinct options that they're giving America. Hillary Clinton, in my opinion, is someone that cannot be trusted. I think every poll shows that America doesn't trust her. She is an example of the status quo. And when I look at Donald Trump, I see someone who has created jobs. I see someone who knows what it's like to make payroll every Friday and provide jobs for people's families. And Hillary Clinton hasn't provided one job. She's been on government payroll for 3 decades. So for me, this is really simple. Option between the status quo, a failed economy that has African-American home ownership at its lowest in decades, and then someone like Donald Trump who knows this economy because he's put his own money on the line, he's put his own reputation on the line time and time again, and he understands the gift of American entrepreneurship.
And what about women, pulling over some women? He has difficulty in that area, at least the media says so.
Look, when it comes to relating to different demographics, nobody does identity politics better than the Democrats. Donald Trump has to stay on his message. His kids did the best job they could to let America know that he's a father first. And I think that's going to come home and save him in the end when people look at Donald Trump, not just the business tycoon, not just the icon, but the human being, the father, the husband. And so I think he still has a chance to pull women around. But I'll tell you, the rules have changed. This is a completely different election. Donald Trump can win a completely different way. Throw out all the maps, throw out all the polls. He can win, but he can win and forge a new path for the Republican Party.
In terms of those polls, do you believe them when they talk about the numbers of supporters when it comes to certain minority groups, or do you think that they're skewed at this point? Do you think maybe a lot of people aren't saying who they're going to vote for?
I think that Donald Trump said some things earlier in the campaign to put himself in a hole. What I'm proud of is that he's turned the corner, and I think after convention we've seen a more structured Donald Trump, a more on-message Donald Trump. He still has time, and I tell you the best thing going for Donald Trump right now, he's running against Hillary Clinton. That's our best way to turn the corner, is to stay on message. He's talking numbers, he's talking stats now. I really like this candidate hitting his stride. He's hitting it at the right time, and I think that as we turn into Labor Day, as you said previously, I think you'll see the polls start to even out even more among other demographics. If Donald Trump can get 20% of the Latino vote, 10% of the African-American vote, it's a ball game. This race is over.
And you think he can win Florida, some of the other swing states?
As a former Rubio person, I can say this. Rubio and Trump need each other in Florida. Rubio is not afraid, to talk about that he is supporting Donald Trump, unlike some other Florida representatives, because he knows that Trump coalition is what defeated him in Florida. So he needs Donald Trump supporters, but also Trump needs the Cuban population that I talked about earlier and other folks in Florida who supported Marco Rubio.
Yeah.
Their fates are tied in Florida. So I think if Rubio wins, so does Trump.
All right. Ashley Bell, thank you so much for joining us. We definitely need to have you back. Thank you.
Thank you.